Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's VC Task Force Gary's Picks event for investors and startups. My name is Joel Rosenberg, Director of Business Development and Strategy for VC Task Force. VC Task Force is an organization where the venture community comes together to address critical issues, provide workshops, and other events for the benefit of the venture and entrepreneurial communities. VC Task Force provides access to an extensive ecosystem of VCs, corporate VCs, and angel investors. You may ask questions anytime during the event, and time permitting, they will be answered live after today's interview. It is my pleasure to welcome Gary's Picks host, Gary Fowler. Gary is CEO and co-founder of GSD Venture Studios, an award-winning growth stage AI venture studio. Gary is also co-founder of the award-winning AI startup, Eva.ai, as well as the investment firm DY Investments. Today, Gary will be interviewing special guest, Kaius Meskanen, founder and CEO of Choicely. Choicely's no-code app development platform offers a simple, fast, and affordable platform to build and maintain high-quality mobile apps at a fraction of the time and cost. Choicely is used by leaders in media, sports, and entertainment, including ITV Studios, Love Island TV show apps, Banijay, International Judo Federation, IMG, and the Miss Universe app. At 13 years old, Kaius' singing group won a UNESCO singing competition at the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Kaius received his master's in architecture from Aalto University. He co-founded LeoBlocks, an accelerated learning platform, and was CEO of Lifestyle Architecture Studio. Kaius is a former member of the Finnish Defense Special Forces, has visited 75 countries, and speaks 9 languages. Take it away, Gary.
Yeah, thanks, Joe. Appreciate it. So great to have Kaius here. I've actually known Kaius for some time. He actually came through GSD. So Kaius, where in the world did you study architecture? And you got a master's degree in architecture. Did you get an undergraduate degree in architecture too?
Well, I studied Masters of Architecture in Helsinki University called Aalto. And I actually made a record there, 4.5 years, while the average is 10.5 years for passing that university.
And so you went from there to the defense. Actually, you were in the defense forces while you were there, right? Or you just stopped? What is the Uti Jagger Regiment?
It's a special force in Finnish military, defense force. They pick 120 guys out of 26,000 every year to that unit. It's for parachuting and kind of working behind the lines.
Did you like it?
Tough. I think it was a great experience because, well, this is kind of timely. Finland just joined NATO last week, and we have a country of 5.5 million with a border of Russia. So the tradition is that all the men have to go to army, and you're going to spend some time there. So I decided to take everything out of it.
No, that's great. And how did that help you for your later companies?
I think it's good experience, and like sports in general, it's this was kind of extreme sports. It kind of gives you stamina.
It was kind of extra sports.
Yeah.
What kind of extra sports? What do you mean by extra sports?
Well, extreme sports like
extreme.
Like parachute.
Like what's the most extreme thing you did?
I think 70-kilometer skiing when there was barely any snow, so it was not sliding well.
70 kilometers of skiing with no snow? And what was that about? Was that in the mountains?
And then it's like non-stop. You get like these 5-minute stops every maybe 1 hour or so. And I'm not a great skier. I guess it's easier for someone else.
Wow.
For me, it was quite. And you had like guys spending the 5 minutes leaning into a tree, and they could just fall asleep while standing.
Seriously?
Yeah.
And who woke them up then after 5 minutes?
Well, it's just like it because everyone goes in the same lines, so you gotta punch the guy in front of you if you want to move.
Oh, seriously? So did everybody sleep at the same time?
Well, not everyone really slept. Some people fell asleep by accident in those 5-minute
Oh my God, that's amazing.
We also, yeah, and you also make holes and sleep in the snow in a sleeping bag.
And how was that?
It gets wet and then you get cold.
Wow, that's amazing. And how many parachute jumps did you do?
Only 7. Yeah, 7. And then a lot, like there was also stuff like roping down from helicopters and buildings and scuba diving and that kind of operations.
And did you scuba dive in the cold water?
Yeah, and you jump from helicopters directly to the lakes.
And how was that?
Well, you have all these sounds, and then you jump, and it's a nice experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you see any big fish?
Not really.
That's interesting. You know, and so what was the goal? To jump in and do what?
Jump in and then approach an island or a shore in a way that it's as unnoticed as possible.
Oh, interesting. That's fantastic. So then you did lifestyle architecture and design. Now, how did it says great homes for great people, right? Awesome homes for great people. What is that about?
So I had an architecture company. I actually started the company when I was studying, and quite quickly I was able to sell quite a bit. So I had a lot of customers. It was time when there was a regression, so it was not like forgiven. You get customers in the construction business, but I did. I took my phone, made some calls, enough calls to make some sales. Then later on, I hired a few people to work with me, and then for a couple of years, I moved the business to Angola in West Africa. I was
what
working.
made you decide to do that? You were bored or what?
There was a good opportunity. It's a bit historical. Around 2010, oil price was high. There was a lot of construction going on, and not that many experts. And I was working with some local VIPs who were helping me to get clients.
Now, how culturally, how different was that than Finland?
As far as you can be.
So what's like the thing? It was like you said to me, boy, this is a little unusual. What was the thing when you were down there?
Like, I think the first thing I realized that I can set up a meeting for tomorrow, let's say in Hotel Tropico at 2, and I'll be there, but no one really showed up. And then when this was repeating enough, I understood that they're not using calendar in a way we do. And
how would they not use a calendar if you have a meeting set up the next day?
I mean, they're just not used to. There are cultural differences, and by the way, I have a lot of friends there, and so don't take me wrong, but they're really different. And me and my partners, we found a way to deal with it, but it's very different.
Well, how did you do that with the meetings? If you needed to have a meeting with them, how did it work? Would you
So
just
we
have to see them on
like
the street and say, oh, let's have a meeting?
So we had one place and we triple booked like hour by hour, and the people we were supposed to meet, like half of them appeared, but not at the time set. So they appeared at random times. So me and my friend, we were just, if 2 people arrived at the same time, we just took 2 tables.
Oh my God, that's great. And then, so how long did you live in Angola?
2.5 years.
And what was the thing that were like, so when you're down there, was it safe down there going around, or was it dangerous?
I would say dangerous. I wouldn't recommend just anyone to go there.
Now, can you just walk around the streets at night and, no problem?
No,
Or how
no,
was
no,
it?
no, 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 no. Like, there's a high probability of a very violent robbery.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did you go about it? Like, what did you do for fun down there?
So they do have areas where definitely, like for example, the capital Luanda, you can definitely walk around in daytime in certain areas, and then there's great nightlife. There are like restaurants and bars and everything, and whole sort of island or inlet area with a lot of like nightlife. There's much you can experience, but yet I wouldn't just walk around there in the dark.
Really? So you can go in, but you can't come out?
You kind of need like a car as close as any restaurant door, so there's still...
Really? That's amazing. But how about once you're in there? Do people bother you once you're in there or no?
No. I think it's fully safe once you're in those places.
No kidding. And do you need bodyguards down there?
Well, we had a lot of guns in the cars, like a knife in my shoe and stuff like that.
Did you ever have to use it?
No.
Wow. So you did that, then you did, what was this LeoBlocks, a gamified learning platform? What was that all about?
Yeah,
and you're
so
doing it today, right?
yeah. So it started because I wanted to, it's sort of a family company that's developed further, but it's about my mother, Tuuli. She's been developing methods in Finland for accelerated learning, for deep learning. And I found out that she's got some very interesting innovation. So I joined her, asking if she wants to do like digital platform out of it, and that's how it started, and then we built a team around it.
And how, so it's been in business 12 years, right? Does your mom run that or are you running it?
Yeah, so she's been running for actually 25 years early learning centers in Finland, and she's done some amazing stuff there. And the digital side of things that we're building is still underway, probably coming out something next year.
Wow, that's great. Okay, so you're going, now I got a question for you. How in the world do you win a singing contest in Sydney Opera House?
So I joined a choir when I was 6, a very demanding choir here in Helsinki, Finland. Pre-requirement was that you can already sing and play 2 instruments at the age of 6. So, and then you get to a training year and then to this kind of a child choir or singing group. And then we went to some competitions once a year, and this one we won.
That's great. And what instruments do you play?
Piano, cello, actually guitar a bit as well.
That's great. And so now you said you went to 71 countries. That's 75. A lot of countries. 75. Okay, this thing says 71. So what about the 75 countries? So what was the most interesting country?
They're different. I think it depends, of course, what you want to experience. If you want to, have just nice beaches, you can find those in, I don't know, Thailand, Brazil kind of places. But then a more sophisticated after work kind of business environment would be New York, London kind of places, and seeing architecture or art, I would go for Italy and France.
Now you're backpacking. Does that mean you're walking, or are you taking trains or buses, or what did you do?
Yeah, when I was young, I was taking trains. You can do this interrail in Europe, like you buy one ticket and you go everywhere.
Yeah. And so if you're going down through those countries, now how in the world did you pick up 9 languages?
So I finished high school with mastering 4 languages, which is quite usual in Finland. Those are Finnish, Swedish, English, and then you can choose from German, Spanish, French. I was speaking German, and then in university, I studied Spanish and French, and then after university, I just went to courses learning Russian and Estonian.
Now, why in the world?
Portuguese. Yeah.
Portuguese. Why in the world did you learn Russian?
Yeah, good question today. But we do have like a big border. I live near to Russia, though Finland is very different. But back in the days when I had the architecture company, I had many Russian customers back in those days.
Now, how many times have you been to Russia?
I think 12.
12. And where did you go? St. Petersburg?
Yeah, St. Petersburg and Moscow.
Wow, that's amazing. Boy, times surely have changed, haven't they?
They have. Yeah. Like we spoke before, I have nothing against the people. They're really nice. They have just aggressive politics who all know what it means.
Yeah, no, I agree. There are a lot of nice people for sure. You're right, aggressive. So, you've gone down through and you did your architecture studio. You go down through. What made you decide to come up with ChoiceLink?
Yeah, so with Choicely, we decided to actually first we decided to create like a voting and activation platform that was web-based. And down the road, when we were talking with large customers, the times were changing and the relevance of mobile apps was growing. So actually, they were communicating that they love the tools that we built, but they would like to use them within a mobile app. And it was definitely a deal breaker. So we had a big discussion with my team, and after a while we decided to build a framework so you can build any kind of apps and include the activation tools we already built. And that's how we got some big customers in 2019.
Wow, that's amazing. And so what about now? You got a lot of companies that you dealt with. First of all, what is Love Island TV show?
So Love Island is one of those reality TV shows where, well, in case of Love Island, you have sort of people in a competition. They do all sorts of things, but actually the winner of the competition is kind of who finds true love. So like a couple that find each other in the show. What is central in the Love Island show is that you have an app where you can vote, and once or twice a week the viewers can vote who's gonna stay in the villa and who's gonna drop out based on what they see.
Wow, that's amazing. So did you get to go to get to see them in action at all?
I've been to the villas.
And where is Love Island?
In secret places in Southern Europe or South America.
Really? Secret places, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow. And then now, what about the Miss Universe app? Now, how did you find Miss Universe?
So by the time I met with them, we were already working with, I think, 10 countries like Miss Finland, Miss England. So we were producing apps and online votes that are very good match with beauty pageants. So I met the team in Bangkok in Miss Universe final in 2018, and I presented them our technology. They really liked it, and a year from that we started working together.
Wow, that's amazing. And so, then you go down through, and I know you got other companies that I know you deal with the football teams, soccer teams. So how did you get to those people? How do you go from Miss Universe to a soccer team?
I guess it's like everything, by meeting people, calling people, emailing people. We built Choicely to kind of to become a good match with almost any kind of app, but anything that's kind of heavy with content, heavy with kind of social elements and interactive elements, then we're a great match. And I don't know anyone who can build such products as we do, also with like a very affordable price. But it really, if you think of industries like media, sports, entertainment, events, and that kind of industries, then it becomes very central that people can consume content in more Instagram way than kind of other ways. So a fast way to consume content and to interact with different buttons and also to vote. And then both in sports and entertainment, you have traffic peaks, so you also have to deal with those. You can build pretty things as startups, but then they may break if you have 100,000 or 1 million people using it at the same time.
Well, that's amazing. So when you go down through and you talk about no code, low code, what does that mean? No code, low code?
Yeah, so no code means that you can, in our case, build a mobile app without coding a single line. You can rather move visual blocks like as a drag and drop interface. Low code means that you can integrate ready-made features, let's say a map or well, I don't know, thousands of features. So you're coding just like 1% as the compared to what is already coded. So you just code a little bit to connect that block somewhere. So that's low code. And I think no code is kind of the last step where you remove barriers. So an entire population can use a tool, in opposed to if you have to code, then you probably have less than 1% or something like that of a whole population who can actually code.
Yeah, you're right about it. I mean, democratization of opportunity, getting around. So how did you make a determination for Choicely to start to do low code, no code? Was it for that from the beginning, or did you just decide after a while, hey, listen, the market's changing, I need to do it?
Market was changing, and we definitely saw an opportunity for building like high quality apps in the no code way, so anyone can do it, because the market of apps is growing. There are now 4 million apps, but there could be 40 or 100 million one day. There are 1.7 billion websites, and the amount of websites started growing when WordPress, Wix, Squarespace, kind of no-code website builders appeared. Then, of course, when anyone could build websites and didn't need a coding team, then then the market adapts. And I'm sure the same thing is going to happen to mobile apps with companies like Choicely and many others helping to do that.
So how long does it typically take to build an app, and how long does it take Choicely?
I would say like a typical app coded as custom code with a team of 2, 3, 4 people would take from 6 months to 12 months.
Yeah.
Like traditional way, and it really depends on what you have there. And then with Choicely, you can build an app in one day. Just kind of put it together and launch it in App Store and Google Play.
Now, have you done that and surprised people?
Yeah.
And what do they say?
One guy said, I told you, because I told him and I was showing it to his friend. We built like one of the sports apps in kind of in front of them.
In front of them?
Yeah. I had prepared a lot of stuff so we could build significant parts of the app in a few hours.
Wow, that's amazing. So as you're going to, being an entrepreneur that you are, what are some words of wisdoms for those startups that are out there? Because, sometimes there are dark days. And I'm not talking about the winter in Finland. I'm talking about so, but how do you go down through? How do you keep your head up and keep moving forward?
Yeah, so I guess like many other startups, we've had some tough moments where we're almost running out of funding, like just barely able to pay salaries, and then we've found funding. Now, since last December 2020, we're funded enough, so there's actually no expiry date for Choicely, but we can actually manage with the growing sales and the cash we have now. So because right now, as we all know, it's like a bit weird and tough times also in the kind of tech world in general. So we have all the cards in our own hands now, so we can make our own moves, and we don't have to kind of spend that much time on fundraising.
That's fantastic. So we're coming up to the top of the show. Closing thoughts, and how do people get a hold of you?
Please visit choicely.com for more information about Choicely, and you can easily contact me or book a meeting.
Yeah, and the other thing is I wanted to just mention, you're now working with a company called Runday, and you're tying in ChatGPT. Can you talk about that a little? Because I'm sure that'll be fascinating for the audience.
Yeah, for sure. So one of the startups we're working with, a great one, is called Safe Steps, and we had discussions with Runday.ai previously, and they're building ChatGPT powered sort of like chat interfaces where the kind of coach on the other side can answer based on a company database. So for example, with us, we can integrate such a chat once it's done by Runday in a few minutes into a specific app. Yeah, so it's really interesting.
So if you're interested in ChatGPT, ChatGPT 3.5, 4, definitely reach out to Kaius, and yeah, Safe Step is an amazing company, and Runday is an amazing company, and Choicely's done an incredible job in the no-code, low-code environment. You know, you want to build an app, but one of the companies that we deal with said that it would take me a year or 2 years to build it, and he built an app in 3 weeks. So there is an opportunity out there, because a lot of it is how fast we can get to the market. So thanks, guys, for coming today. Appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule. And what's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, so best way to get a hold of me is to go to choicely.com and book a meeting, or just find Kaius Meskanen in LinkedIn.
Thanks. Appreciate it. Joel?
Excellent. Thank you both for a really great and insightful interview. Really, Choicely is, I think, really great company, and look forward to hearing more about it in the future. All right, everybody, we'll see you back in 2 weeks for the next edition of Gary's Picks event. Until then, stay well, stay healthy, and we'll see you then. Take care.
All right, take care. Thanks, Kaius. Thanks, Joel. Thanks, June. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.